Greetings and salutation, my Reverenites. This is Will and Tilly's, the real Dark Reverend, and I come to you with another interview of a rising cosplay star, and he's here with us today, dressed in that great cosplay gear. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to YouTube and my Ravenites?
Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy to have that you have me here. Really excited. My name is Lasheen. It's going to be at Tchallasheen on Instagram. Really just excited to be here. I want to talk a lot about what I've accomplished and what I've been through and what I've learned in cosplay this year.
And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, he's only been in cosplay 1 year doing his thing. He's been on magazines, he's been in interviews, he's been out on panels and different cosplay cons and events. He's been out there influencing people for the greater good. And we got him here. And so we're going to put him to the test, just like I usually do. And let's get it started. But before we do, we got to check out my shirt.
Nice.
I got the Superman compression shirt, and I also got the Green Lantern ring here, just like I was telling him before. That Shades of Superman 1 million. Go check it out. It's a great comic. It's one of my favorites besides Superman Year One. Speaking of cosplay, so let's tell us about how you came up with your cosplay name, and break it down for us, and just tell us how it came about.
Absolutely. So the way I got started, with cosplay is that I saw a few people doing it here and there, especially when the MCU broke out. There were a lot of different characters you could be, but I was waiting for somebody that I could identify with. And then I saw Civil War, Captain America Civil War, and I saw T'Challa, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. So I saw this portrayal of Black Panther, who I never knew anything about the comic. I only knew him from that episode of Fantastic Four in the 90s cartoon where he like mollywopped all of them in one episode. That's all I ever heard of from Black Panther. So I didn't know him. I see this guy on Civil War, and I was like, this is amazing. Then I knew he was getting his own movie. So I decided to do a tribute to him. I did T'Challa, and my name is Lasheen. So if you spell it out, it's a good play on words. So Tchallasheen is my Instagram name, and that's the one that I've been sticking with.
All right, I love it. I love it. Yeah, T'Challa and the portrayal of T'Challa by the late great Chadwick Boseman really rang true for a lot of fans and a lot of youths out there. They really looked up to that character, and that character just speaks volumes that Disney don't want to even replace him. I played that character myself, and sometimes you see these little kids, Black Panther. So you got to act accordingly, and I get it. So we already know where your social media is.
Yep.
From. So what made you become a cosplayer? A lot of times people are like, I was always, I was into drama, but what put you on your path to become the cosplayer you are today?
Absolutely. So first thing I got to do is shout out my boy at Retro Junkies 83, my boy Fabian. He started cosplaying first. I want to say back in 2015 or 16. I saw him do the Green Ranger, and it blew my mind. Because he had been like toying with cosplay for a while, but it was cool, but it wasn't like something that like really like hit. So I saw him do Green Ranger, and it like just connected in my head. And I was like, me and him grew up together. We liked the same things. I was always curious to try it, but obviously a little nervous because I came from Brooklyn. I'm from the hood. Back then in the 90s, 80s, like you couldn't be a comic nerd and be like open about it. You get done over. So I would keep that to myself. But I saw Fabian go out there and do his thing, and he wasn't scared of the negativity that came with the comment. He did it. And I said, you know what? If my boy could do it, man, let me try. And I tiptoed into it thanks to Chadwick Boseman and then Black Panther. And then it just exploded from there. And I really just took off with the cosplay. I started just doing characters that didn't even have to be Black. I just wanted to be who I enjoyed as a kid. And I just emulated them, and I do it to like pinpoint precision when I get these suits.
Right. Understand that you get into the character, you become that
Mhm.
character. Speaking of that, unfortunately, because of the way of the world, we sometimes face adversity in
Yes.
playing these characters. Do you have a story that you can share with us that is personal to your heart that you have experienced and you have overcome
Yes.
to be a better person and even teach those along the way?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So my biggest story, what triggered me to go into this universe of cosplay and like become a rising star this year. So I was only gonna do Black Panther this year. I only bought one Black Panther like bodysuit and like official mask, and that's all I was gonna do. But then I also go to the gym, just like how you have your compression Superman on. I had a compression Winter Soldier, and I was in the gym doing biceps, and I posted a picture of it in one of my cosplay fitness groups. And one of the gentlemen, he saw it and goes, "If there was ever a Black Winter Soldier, you would be the #1 pick." And
Right.
he thought he was complimenting me. So I took that as a chance to educate. And I said, listen, I don't want to be defined as the Black Winter Soldier. When I put this on, it wasn't to be the Black anything. It was to just be the character. He was from Turkey, I believe. So he didn't
Right.
even know the dichotomy of racial relations here in America. So I just used it to school him, and he took it, he absorbed it, he said, thank you. And then I showed it on different platforms, my
Right.
Instagram. It was a war, a 3-day long war on my Instagram, which is still sitting up there.
Right.
Go look for it, where you just see hundreds of comments of other people telling me, just take the compliment. He's just saying something good about you. Why do you have to be so sensitive? Stop being a snowflake. You are just a Black Winter Soldier. You'll never be the Winter Soldier. You're not Bucky Barnes. You're not Sebastian Stan. And like, they came for me. But you
Right.
know what? My community came back, and I didn't even have to fight back. A lot of folks, and I was still up and coming at the time. So a lot of folks joined my page because they heard the buzz that was happening,
Right.
and they just fought for me. And I think I educated a lot of people that day.
That's always good to educate the ignorant, because a lot of times they think they're being smart or being practical, but it's a lot of it's born out of ignorance and, well, stupidity. Use my French, but that's how I see it. So, other than that negativity, of course. So, what is the best part of cosplaying, especially some of the characters that you play? Because you traditionally don't play the character as someone else would. I mean, like for example, if you can expand on that and talk about the cosplay uniform you got on today, because right now it's not standard, and that's not a bad thing. But
Yeah.
go ahead and expand on that for us.
Absolutely. So the way that my brain works, and this goes across the board with every single thing that I do in the world, my brain says to stand out. So I'm in cosplay. There's thousands, if not millions of us. I don't even know really how big the community truly is. I'm still learning. And there are, there's a ton of Power Ranger cosplayers out there. And the way that my brain works is like, all right, you want to make an impact. You want people to notice your cosplay. What can you do for your Black Ranger that's a little outside the box? So
Right.
I remember 25 years ago, there was a Power Rangers episode in season 2 in Oyster Stew, where Tommy gave Zach his shield for one episode only.
Right.
And I saw it 25 years ago, and I swear to God, I couldn't find it. And I thought that I made it up in my head. I could not. So Netflix, got all the Power Rangers now because they acquired the rights. So I went through probably 120 episodes till I found it because I couldn't remember the name of it, and I didn't know how to search for it. And I found it, and I watched it, and I was like, he did have the shield. I knew it. So I ordered it. I was like, I'm going to put them on to that episode of Power Rangers, that lost episode.
All right, that's great. That's something unique. That's something that all those Power Ranger fans out there can really appreciate. There's going to be somewhere. You're going to be at a con. You're going to be somewhere. They're going to come out and they're going to tell you exactly what you did, and they're going to really appreciate that. And I'm sure cosplay in general appreciates things like this. Um, so is it a struggle to make friends in the cosplay universe, the community?
That's a great question. So the thing, and I'm not going to call it a problem, but the thing with the cosplay community that I'm learning is that it's a shy community, believe it or not. These are people who have overcome adversities in their life, and they use cosplay as an outlet to become creative. No different than a singer or a artist or a painter, right? You know,
Right.
they use this as an outlet, and a lot of people do it for personal reasons. And I think that when that happens, you know, that's a great reason to get into it. But if you want to become part of the community, I said this on my Comic-Con panel as well. You have to give to the community to get back from the community. And what I mean by that is I collaborate with almost anybody who asks me.
Right.
Like if it's you know, I just finished doing and it's on my page, just finished doing a music video. I dressed as Captain America. We were doing an anti-bullying campaign.
Right.
And I don't even know the person who asked me. They just hit me up one day on my inbox and said, hey, we're doing an anti-bullying campaign. We want cosplayers. Can you dress up as an inspiring, like one of your inspiring cosplay suits, and just like record yourself singing this song, and then we'll splice it together and make a video.
Right.
Instantly, I said, yep. And I got dressed. I grabbed the guitar and I just went at it. And I had to learn the song. I never heard of it before.
Right.
Help by Papa Roach. And I just jumped in. So that's the kind of things that I do. When someone asks me, hey, I live in Jersey, but I'm from New York. So if somebody's in New York, they're in Manhattan, hey, we're doing a Spider-Verse shoot. You have your Spider-Man noir costume, right? We need to do it Into the Spider-Verse. We need a noir. Can you come? If I'm truly free that day, of course I'm gonna get up and go. Hey, we're in Bayonne, New Jersey. We're doing a Avengers shoot. Can you bring your Black Panther? Yeah, I never met y'all in my life, but absolutely, I'm on my way. So that's how you make friends in cosplay. You can't be afraid to give to the community, be a part of the shoots, be a part of what they're doing. And that's how you network, because when they post it, you get tagged, and your tag will see a tag and see a tag and see a tag, and it just goes that way, and that's how you expand.
All right, that's great. That's great news, and great tips for advancing your profile in the cosplay community. Of course, like you said, it's a shy community. A lot of us like to fly under the proverbial radar, or we'll go out, style and profile. I mean, I was just at the LA Comic-Con. It was awesome. It was just so many great cosplayers there. When I mean great, I mean everyone. But there are, of course, those A1s that just stand out, just were astounding.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of great Batmans, but the one best Batman was the Batman I posed with. They actually put him in, it was an article written on a bunch of the cosplayers, and he was one of the people that was in the article and stuff like that. I'm sure they grabbed Boba Fett too. But moving on, are there any cons coming up that they can see you at, any events and panels, or any even online activities that they can engage?
So I mean, right now I'd say my season is pretty slow. This is the time where I'm like building up, I'm still building together this Black Ranger suit. I have another secret suit that I'm not telling anybody about yet, that I'm gonna unleash on January 1st. If all things go the way, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna definitely unleash a brand new suit on
cool.
January 1st.
Can you tell us, give us a hint, what universe is in? Is it in Marvel, DC, Dragon Ball?
Any hint that I give might give it away, so I'm gonna keep it on the hush. But
so you can't even give us a hint. Okay.
It's a.
What about a color? Is it
green? Green.
Green. I'm not gonna say the Green Ranger because that's too easy, but because you already got the trash.
I'm gonna keep it on the low for now.
Okay. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it when you post it on Facebook and stuff like that. But okay, I got you.
As far as just answering your question on the cons, I am interested in. I heard about something called Morphicon. It's a biannual Power Ranger convention. I've never heard of it. I just heard about it on a YouTube show that I was watching. So I want to see where it is, see if it falls on 2022, and if so, I'm gonna find my way there. I would love to be a part of that.
So
the Black Comic-Con, BlurredCon, that's what they call it, BlurredCon. I just found out what it was. I never heard of it before.
But that was in Atlanta, didn't it pass already?
That was in Atlanta, but they're gonna do it again, next year. So I want to be a part of that. I want to find a way to get there. I've never been.
Actually, there's a guy in our group. He runs that, or he's part of that page, Makai Blair.
Okay.
MICAH Blair. So yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then
I'm
you can
gonna look
just
him up.
join his group and just ask him about it, whatever.
I would love to know more about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So he runs that. I think he does a live either Instagram or podcast like every Friday or something like that, or every other Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, so go check him out. He's on there. There's a whole bunch of other, great cosplay intent there. So I understand that your family cosplays with you,
Yes.
so that's understandably that they have your support. So how did that come about? You say, "Hey, honey, I'm about to dress up as a character or a cartoon character from my childhood, and I'm going to parade around in these pajamas in the street."
So I can tell you how it all started. So if you see all these medals behind me,
Right.
I run obstacle course races all year round when I'm not cosplaying or working. And I've been doing this for years. And my wife runs with me. So remember what I said earlier, my brain always makes me want to stand out when I'm doing something that everybody else is doing.
Right.
So it all, the cosplaying with her started because when we run the races, I would do Superman, she would do Supergirl, I would do Batman,
Right.
she would do Wonder Woman, I would
Right.
do this guy, she would do that, you know what I mean? So
Right.
we would run together, and people were so inspired seeing us run these races. I mean, crawling under barbed wire as Deadpool in 92-degree weather with the swords and the guns and everything, like
Yeah.
jumping off of a 20-foot platform, plunging into the water as Batman with the cape flying and
Right.
stuff like that. And she'd be a part of it. She would do all of this craziness
Awesome.
with me. So from there, it became, hey, I'm going to take this cosplay to the next level. And this isn't about races anymore. This is about me actually dressing up, doing shoots, and like getting real costumes and real material. You want to try it? And she was like, sure. And then I got her into the MCU. We put her through all the movies, put her through the ringer, taught her all of the lingo, and we got her a Scarlet Witch suit. And the reaction was just out of control. And from there, she just been my ride or die.
Awesome.
And then my son, he literally, I can't even try to like, he looks like Miles Morales. He looks just like the Into the Spider-Verse character Miles Morales from the movie. So when we saw the movie together in 2018, I was like,
first,
kid.
but yeah.
I was like, listen, kid, you look just like him. We got to do something with this. Would you be down to rock a Spider-Man costume for me for Halloween? Because he was still young enough to still care about Halloween. So he was like, can we do Spider-Verse for Halloween? He said, okay. We knocked it out, and it expanded from there to where we did the Spider-Verse shoot this year. It was like 100 of us, and he was the best Miles there. There were like 5 other Miles, and his just stood out.
It's funny that Miles suit. I talked to a couple of cosplayers, and that jacket don't fit anyone.
Yeah, we
went. Got to get it altered. I said, "How did you get yours?" Because he's almost my size, a little bit smaller, but he was like, "I'm like, how do you get the jacket this size?" He's like, "I had to get altered." I'm like, "Oh, okay." That's awesome stuff. So, as you blew up in the cosplay world this year, you were in a couple of interviews, and can you talk about that one with the husband and wife? And
yeah. Shout out to at the Dating Warriors on Instagram. Shout out to my boy Brian. They're really cool. So again, like I said before, when someone asks me to do something cosplay related, I almost always say yes. As a matter of fact, I can't think of one time I've said no so far. But they asked me over the summer, hey, look, you're married and your wife is a part of this. We would love to have you on our show so we could inspire others that nerd out, that they can still find love. And I was like, absolutely, hands down, I want to be a part of this. And we did this IG live over the summer. It's still up on my Instagram as well as theirs, at the Dating Warriors. And yeah, it was great. It was such a good, it felt good to be able to like be a part of that, because again, like I know, when we came up, girls wasn't necessarily trying to hear all of that, nerd stuff back then. Nowadays, it's different. Now we get it in, but back then there was images to uphold back, when we were teenagers and stuff like that. And it took a while.
I'm well older than you, so yeah. Way back then. But yeah,
so you know better than even I do.
Yeah, I just like to tell people, don't get it twisted. We blurs, as I call us. We get it in. Look at my wife, look at your wife. Hey,
exactly.
I mean, half the time, at these cosplay conventions, there's hookups, not to say,
Oh,
go
yeah.
out there touching the folk, but you know what I mean.
Now, I've heard through the
People will be
grapevine.
like, ooh, I've been waiting to do a photo shoot with you. And, but, anyways, it's human nature. So you also got into a couple of magazine shoots. I understand someone, sent you an entry and say, hey, try this out. So we already know that you've been in 2 layouts, and one was big and one was small.
Yes.
But how did that feel, getting that magazine? Did you actually purchase that magazine, or did you get a digital copy? How did that feel when you either got the digital copy or the physical copy and opened it up and went to that spread, and there you are in proverbial black and white? Hopefully it was in color. But, yes.
Great question. So again, my homie at itsfunnguy on Instagram. Again, another gentleman that I didn't know in person, but he supported my cosplays when I first made my page, and I supported his. And one day he just hit me out of the clear blue sky. Hey, bro, I'm putting myself in to be a part of this showcase. Why don't you apply as well? Let's just see what happens. And I'm like,
right.
Dude, they're not gonna want me. I applied and I got in just like he did. And I got half a spread on half a page with an amazing other cosplayer. I think it's at the Wallace Morris. He's a Flash cosplayer, Speed Force, and he's fantastic.
Flash,
and I love sharing.
Slow. The Flash is still too slow.
And then what ended up happening is
Zoom.
Zoom is my dude. All right, but not about the
but anyway,
that is my dude. But to stay on topic, what happened was that was for the fall issue. And then when the winter issue came out, they came back to me. I didn't even hit them up. They came to me at Creative Cosplay Magazine. They came to me and said, would you like to do another spread? And I said, sure, why not? And I gave them a bunch of my photos of me actually doing cosplay in the winter outside in the snow. Nice. So I figured it's a winter issue, why not? I had no idea when I did those shoots earlier this year that they would ever materialize. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when they came in, my wife came home, my son came home from school, and we sat at the table and we opened it up and we watched, we read each and every other person's story. But when we got to mine, I just looked up at them because they're my photographers. And I'm like, I couldn't have done this without you guys.
Right. Like it says, when it comes to photography, the best camera is the one in your hand. And also the best photographer is the one you have. And a lot of times by taking lots of pictures, we all got cameras. Photos are great, especially depending on the camera you have. And it's just awesome that you and your family are deep into the game of cosplaying, getting your feet wet, going out here doing photo shoots, inspiring people, and you continue to do your other things and things like that. So, we are reaching the end of our time here. Don't want to keep you too much because I know you want that secret cosplay to work on.
Yep.
And I have some 3D printing to print. I don't know what I'm going to print. I said that, but I am going to print something. Because ladies and gentlemen, look at this. The white power line ring. Okay. So I think, what I'm going to do? I'm going to print the one ring and see how that comes out. So once again, I thank everyone for coming out, and I thank you. Tell everybody who you are and give your tags again so they know where to find you.
Excuse me. Absolutely. You can easily find me. My page is public and I accept pretty much any ad at Tchallasheen on Instagram. That's the best way to find me. And if you want to find me on Facebook, you can use my La Chala. So again, it's another play on words. La like Lasheen, and then Chala like T'Challa. So you can find me on Facebook that way, Instagram Tchallasheen. Will, thank you so much for having me. This has been phenomenal. This is a great way to close out my year in cosplay, just to, getting heard one more time. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what 2022 has to offer.
Well, I thank you once again for coming out, visiting my channel, giving us a good chat and having a nice little conversation about cosplay. And maybe you can come back in the future and we can talk about some other things and some other projects that you're going to have going on. And I'm sure my listeners will love that. And I appreciate you, and have a good rest of your year, and have a good happy holidays. Merry Christmas, all that. and I'll see you at the cons, and we're out.